I hit veteran with my Chesnaught, Magcargo, and Munchlax team in the Sunshine Cup, and here's exactly how I did it. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. So here we are showing two sets leading up to my veteran push, and we get a Swampert lead here in the beginning, and I should have instantly swapped out here, or at least didn't stay in as long as I did, but I decided to throw a superpower, and actually this match right here is a little tricky. This was my first one of the day, and I wasn't playing it as sharp as I could have. So pretty much I should have stayed in with Chesnaught whenever the double took the superpower to the face and farmed down. Well, because I didn't do that, I ended up losing my Magcargo to this Swampert, which I completely messed up alignment in this match. So I'm going to shield the Hydro here, and I think they end up catching the superpower on a Trevenant too. So definitely some maneuvering here from my opponent. They definitely were trying to win this match, and they did a great job of doing that, because I do end up losing this one in the end. And honestly, there's like a lot of little things that could have helped me regain the match. Like even right now in this little scenario, like obviously this is unfortunate that they caught that superpower, because a Frenzy Plant hitting Trevenant here actually would have been a decent amount of damage to help flip this, or if I just saved my energy on Chesnaught. But yeah, this is looking kind of bad, because at this point I don't think I really have a win con. I mean, there's even a situation where I do come back in here and I farm a little bit too long on my Chesnaught on the Swampert, and they end up just removing me with... See here, if I would have just thrown superpower, there is a slight chance I could have farmed down and actually won still. But yeah, a little bit of a mistake. I actually think if I would have thrown the superpower there instead of trying to build a little bit of extra energy, I could have still brought the match back. But yeah, that was a rough one. I mean, I'm going to showcase my losses here on the channel regardless, just because that's just part of getting better at the game, is trying to recognize and look, did I even have a chance in that battle? I mean, I had great alignment. I kind of threw the match throughout the battle. Plus, my opponent just made great sack swaps. So in this match, we get a Shadow Abomasnow lead, which we do play this correctly. We throw the superpower and we switch out into Munchlax, and we disrupt the timer a bit, because they end up staying in with their Abomasnow and throwing a little bit of energy. They bring in Knockdown, which we're okay with. We're going to commit a shield and just try our best to get as much damage off on this Knockdown. Maybe even potentially try to win switch. But the way I was looking at this match was, well, if we can get rid of this Knockdown, maybe we can even bring in Magcargo potentially here. But the thing is, we really don't want to risk losing switch either. So it's better just to, in my opinion, it's just better to commit double shields in a scenario like this. And they do end up getting to the Sky Attack, which does make this a little scary. But the beauty of this matchup is we could just farm a little bit of extra energy. I was a little nervous to bring in the Chesnaught, because one Weather Ball from Abomasnow will remove Chesnaught. And fortunately, giving that little bit of energy lead is really significant. So my main win con here would be primarily to sack Chesnaught at this point. They end up going for the dig here, and this is kind of insane. I'm pretty confident they didn't want to do that particularly. And now I didn't want to knock out the Abomasnow, because I didn't want the Gligar to get enough energy to remove Magcargo. So I decided to undertap, which was super beneficial for us, because we are actually able to farm enough energy to go for overheat right away. And we end up taking that match. Yeah, the matches actually have gotten a lot more difficult. I mean, even matches where I would win the lead, I have to be extremely careful about how I move forward in the battle. And this match is really interesting. I started to see some Donphan leads, which personally aren't threatening at all to our team. I mean, I can safely go for the Frenzy Plant and just kind of stay in here. So because they switch in Gligar, instead of just insta-swapping, I figured, you know what? I'm not too afraid of Donphan. It's low enough that if I throw the Frenzy on Gligar, it's still going to hurt a lot, and it makes our Munchlax switch in a little bit easier, because we can just kind of farm down with Tackle. It's pretty much what I end up doing here. And we will shield one of the moves, and now that we have energy, a Body Slam is threatening to Donphan, and I think that's what they end up doing, is bringing Donphan in here. We're just going to launch a Body Slam right away, And yeah, they're going to shield. We have another one loaded, so it should remove Donphan. Or get close enough at least. And if we make an amazing sack swap here as well. So this is just looking really good. And I think at this point, I'm like, Magcargo should just come in. Even if they have something like Swampert in the back, I can just overheat it. Because I will be ahead in energy. And they end up having a Bomb Snow, so that's just complete GG. Here's a Lopunny. So this is actually, this is the first time I've seen a Lopunny. And I'm assuming it gets Tackle. I actually forgot to research this before, but it gets Triple Axle, and I'm thinking that's Tackle as its fast attack. Yeah, actually I wasn't really sure how to play around this initially, but they do make a pretty good switch here and catch my superpower. But because it's Rufflet, I can safely bring a Magcargo, and I think I just go for a straight farm down here on Rufflet. I'm not too afraid of whatever it might throw at me. Even a Brave Bird, whatever, I'll just take it to the face. I'd rather have my shields and energy. And I can't remember, is that double or Vigoroth? It's a Vigoroth. In this matchup, I've learned that, at least in the position I'm in, knowing what they have as well, I figured, you know, I might as well just go for the overheat. They're more than likely not going to shield. And that did end up being rather beneficial for us. And then they have Lopunny here. And I will admit this was a little scary to know if we could pull off the win. But actually, is that double kick or something as its fast attack? Maybe it is double kick, because I'm seeing that it's doing, it has to be double kick. It's doing super effective damage here on Munchlax. So that was a little scary, but fortunately for us, Munchlax is just a beast and bulky. And I have the 2 shields, and even with the, as long as we didn't shield that very first Triple Axle, we were looking a lot better in this matchup. Unfortunately, I'm able to just outpace it here with the Munchlax in the end, so GG. Alright, another Swampert lead. We don't want to, after losing to that first Swampert lead in this set, I definitely wanted to play a little bit smarter, but as you can see, still, I mean, just because it's a Vigoroth switch in, I decided to kind of play it a little similar to my last match, but instead I go for Frenzy Plant first, and they end up shielding, so I'm going to stay in and then go for a superpower. I'm going to try to remove both shields, and I think because of the nature of the way this match is, I decided I'm going to shield here, and I'm just going to try my best to flip this switch with Munchlax. It doesn't look too shabby. I'm thinking, you know, with a Body Slam, I could probably tackle down. I could probably take one more Body Slam to the face if needed. But we do end up having switch now, and I'm not, as long as we keep alignment, we should be okay, because Swamperts in the back are probably our worst enemy, and if we don't deal with Swampert leads properly, they can end up biting us in the butt. It's not typical that I lose the Swampert lead, but I definitely wanted to showcase my losses against one in this video, because this is still a relatively good set, and also, this team is not easy to use. It's definitely gained me a lot of elo in the Sunshine Cup, but I've also noticed as I've been playing that it seems that people either have been catching on to this trend or, you know, just generally learning how to play around it a little sharper, because some of my opponents have, I definitely came across a lot of hard counters to my team when I was playing after I hit Veteran. It could just be coincidence, or maybe, you know, it's just part of climbing in the elo. But yeah, it's not easy to use this team at all, so even if we win the lead, we still have to delegate through the match, like, intelligently. But yeah, GG's there. That's a 4-1 set, and we'll jump into our next set here. Please hit the like button. It helps my content reach a wider audience here on YouTube, and I really appreciate you making it this far. All right, let's jump into the set that actually got me Veteran. So yeah, I wasn't really expecting to hit Veteran this early in the season. I was just gonna try to spice it up and try memes for content for a good portion of the season, but this team is doing so good for me, and it's so unique, and it definitely fulfills what I love about playing Pokemon games, gravitating towards off-meta or Pokemon that are a little more difficult and uncommon to use in meta. So I think Chesnaught, Munchlax plus Magcargo has proven to be a pretty solid team, but on this opponent, we are able to flip this safe swap with Munchlax, and in comes that Vigoroth. And this match actually is insane. I do feel like I kind of, like some of these matches where I have a good lead, I definitely drop the ball occasionally. Great sack swap here on, not sack swap, but safe swap on my opponent catching that move. And yeah, at this point, this is not looking too good. The way they played the Vigoroth in this match was really clever. They made sure to preserve energy, and that can be extremely scary. I think if you're watching my videos, you could probably beat my team better than someone who has no idea what to expect. I mean, I don't know. It's hard for me to say that anyone really even knows what's going on here, but yeah, this battle is insane. I don't typically like debate, but we got very fortunate here, and this situation right here, I thought I was going to lose this match. My only win con is if I get the sack swap properly. I knew that more than likely they were going to throw their body slam. I knew they had two. I had a feeling they were going to instant throw it, and because I made that call correctly, that's the only reason why I win this match. I can't believe I won that. That was insane. But yeah, I got so lucky because the way they played their Vigoroth was very clever. A lot of times these Vigoroth leads, they don't play it properly. I mean, I could teach you how to beat my team if you're running Vigoroth lead. Don't play like these Vigoroths that love to throw their body slam right away, because you want to try to take advantage of the debuff on Chesnaught, which, you know, usually I want to take at least one body slam to the face to get shield advantage, but if I throw the superpower first, that body slam is going to hurt so much more. And we end up bringing in Munchlax here on the Pidgeot that they bring. Well, we bring in Munchlax first, and they switch in Pidgeot on us. And because we have such a great scenario, I'm like, there's really no reason to shield here, because if they use Brave Bird, we can just bring in Magcargo and get a farm down, which even if they have something like Swampert in the back, we'll have the energy lead, and we can probably go for double overheat potentially, even on something like Swampert. So yeah, that's what we do. We bring in Magcargo. I think, I don't remember. Yeah, they bring in their Vigoroth. They make a pretty good sack swap here, and I go for the Rock Tomb, and it does hit Rufflet. And at this point, I'm like, well, that doesn't really matter because I could just farm down. Nothing Rufflet does is going to be too lethal. And yeah, at that point, I'm already loaded up for an overheat on Vigoroth, and that's just going to be GG. But yeah, a lot of these battles, as I've climbed, especially after I hit Veteran, I started to see a lot of hard counters to my team. Knocked out Pidgeot lead with double Vigoroth safe swap, and then they had Swampert or like Stunfisk in the back line. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure if, I mean, that's a good line regardless in this cup. But yeah, that line in particular is a little lethal to this team. It's probably the one line that I feel is the hardest to try to beat. But yeah, so in this match, we bring in our Munchlax here on the Vigoroth. They bring in Pidgeot, and we just want to try to chip as much damage as we can. I mean, having this shield advantage in this match, like I said, when we have this type of advantage, we don't really care about Brave Bird. I mean, you know, the Brave Bird Munchlax, that's even better for us because we can just bring in Magcargo and start incinerating down. And yeah, we could just start launching overheats on whatever they bring in, and then we still have Chesnaught to switch out to preserve our stats if we need to remove debuffs. But yeah, as long as we don't get hit by a bulldoze here, we should be good. And we're just going to throw the move right away. We just want to save one shield for the backline, because at this point, we will be able to outpace to an overheat as long as we commit one shield. I mean, more than likely, they're just going to bait us here, which I didn't want to risk it. It's not worth it. As long as we just connect an overheat, it's pretty much just GG. So, good game to them. But yeah, this set that got me Veteran was actually really difficult regardless. I mean, you can imagine that, I don't know, I found a lot of success with this team, but the way GBL tends to be, one day you'll play and it feels like you're getting hard countered for a while, and then other days it just feels like free wins. And I don't really know. It's hard for me to say until I keep playing with this team. But as of right now, I don't really feel the need to adjust, even when I do get faced against hard counters. This match was strange because the way we both switched here, I don't understand. Like, that switch is good for them, but it didn't feel like this was a prediction. I feel as if, I don't know actually, like it felt like we switched at the same time, which I don't understand why they brought Steelix in on Chesnaught. But if they by chance switched to Munchlax when I switched, then that's insane. But like, why would they? But the thing is, the only information they would have when they switched was seeing the normal, which unless they knew my team, I don't understand why they would switch in if it was like a double or potential Vigoroth switch. Yeah, this match was strange because that switch I made actually kind of cost me. But yeah, let's see here. How do we go through this? I think I'm trying to remember what was the real part that sealed the deal here. Oh, so here I don't know if I could have got 2 superpowers off here. I don't know if I could have. Realistically, even if I didn't throw that superpower, I don't think it would have worked properly. But yeah, I think that switch was one of the game-changing parts of this match. Definitely really crazy. I mean, I don't know. Like, it could have just been luck at the end of the day, but yeah, that was a little unfortunate. But yeah, it was okay. At this point, I was like, oh, well, I'm 3-1. Regardless of how this set goes, I'm going to hit Veteran. And in this match, we actually get the Pidgeot lead. This isn't looking too good. One thing I've noticed about these Pidgeot leads with Vigoroth double, that they do tend to get... I mean, I think that even if they don't get my shield here, the Feather Dance is still a great play. I think Pidgeot is better off just going straight for Feather Dance and switching in this scenario because it really makes this matchup with Munchlax harder to do much. I mean, if you throw the Feather Dance on the Munchlax and then switch out into your Vigoroth or double, you can essentially go for a farm down, which is a little more lethal than if you try to go for a Brave Bird and chip damage on Munchlax. So I do think my opponent here actually played this really smart to the point where I wasn't even really sure how to navigate, because while I was playing against this line, a lot of times their third is something that beats my back line, whether it be Swampert or this. In this case, actually they're running Blaziken, which I haven't seen too many of, but Blaziken itself is actually a problem for this line. So I think they made a pretty great call in general to run Blaziken as their third, but a lot of times it's Swampert. And this line alignment is probably the most difficult team for me to deal with in this format. So we do end up getting a 3-2 here. I had to clear my storage, and I'll just show you real quick that we did hit Veteran with this line. And yeah, there we go. But yeah, I really enjoy playing this team in Sunshine Cup. I might have to start making adjustments. It does seem people are starting to catch on to this team. But thanks again for tuning in. I'm going to continue making some content as I push towards Legend. Definitely consider subscribing if you like content like this. And also, if you want to watch more battles with this team, definitely consider checking out this video or even this video, because they both showcase this team in this cup during this season. And with that being said, the Sass Squad's getting stronger each and every day. You have a good morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you're tuning in. I'll catch you in the next one.